speaking and listening. Explain to me the role speaking and listening plays in the kindergarten classroom and how important it is.
Well, I think it's academic and non-academic, so things from greeting the students in the morning with the expression, "Good morning," rather than saying, "Good morning," you know, they pick up on your tone. And things like following directions is something we work on the first day of school. You have to listen in order to know what to do at school. And providing modeling and sentence stems. So there was a student who was struggling to push her chair in, and I could see she was getting emotional about it, so I told her, "What could you say? Can you?" And then she remembered our practicing. "Can you please move your chair?" she told her classmate. So just being a model of what expression sounds like.
And that was kind of a scaffold, like getting them started with that.
Right.
And you do that a lot
Yes.
in your classroom.
Because of the English language learners who are acquiring the language and tying in the emotion behind when you speak needs to be seen on your face and in your body.
Do you find that speaking and listening with students, 80% are English language learners,
Right.
do you find that it plays a somewhat different role in their instruction than it might with students who are not learning the language?
It does. When we're reading and writing and things, we stop often to explain things again or to talk to a partner or just sit on the floor and talk to each other. Writing time is very collaborative where they're speaking and bouncing ideas off of each other to give them the time and a safe space to practice the new words they're learning.
Before they take it to the higher level of trying to turn into writing.
Right.
That makes sense. So, talking about that scaffold for speaking and listening, what other scaffolds do you use to help them do that type of work? You have something here you were going to share with us?
Right. This chart right here actually has the 3 different punctuations, the period, exclamation point, and question mark. So if I say good morning, I would ask them, which punctuation would I put at the end of that? They'd say exclamation point. How should my face look? Happy. And I'll often give them non-examples or things that mismatch or have them provide a model, repeat after me. And this ties back into their reading and writing. How do we use these? How do we read with fluency when we see these markers in our reading?
So you're really combining modalities here with the speaking and the writing and the reading.
Right.
And then these are hers. So Dana, come on over here. How do you, give me some examples of how you use speaking and listening in your classroom.
We use speaking and listening in a group form with students as pairs as well as a whole group, but especially for writing, we use prompts with how they speak with their neighbor. So when their friend is sharing their writing piece, they would respond in a way of, "I like how you drew your picture with many colors." Or they could say, "I noticed that you used blue for the sky." So they're sharing in a positive manner using positive speaking phrases.
Okay, so this is definitely that standard 1 and 2, which is all about discussion and conversation and talking about different subjects.
Yes.
What about over here? How do you use poetry to help you teach speaking and listening?
We also use poems and rhymes very often to show students a use of sight words and word families in the proper form. So they're able to listen to the poem and then repeat the poem and use the correct speaking terms.
Can you read the first stanza and sort of show us how you might use that stanza?
Sure. I spy someone who has a bat. I spy someone who has a cat. I spy someone who wears a hat. Let's play I Spy together. We would then have the students come and highlight simple sight words we've already used. We would also have them look at the pictures, and through them listening and hearing what the pictures are about, which pictures were talked about in that first verse of the poem.
Okay, so we really see here how we say that speaking and listening is so foundational to kindergarten, because in these very short lessons, you're combining reading, you're combining speaking, you're combining listening, and I'm sure there's some writing going to happen involved in this too. So while we're sort of separating the sections, here we see how they're connected. So we're also going to next look at vocabulary and how you teach vocabulary in a kindergarten class.